Aiken High students. I am Danny Romano.
And I'm Michaela Tucker.
This week we take a look at information about AI, the Martin Luther King Jr. essay writing contest, and a reminder to wear your mask.
Live from the Hive, it's AHS News.
Over the course of the 20 to 21 school year, school has operated virtually and face-to-face.
With the new semester starting, virtual students have the opportunity to return face-to-face if they chose.
Here's more information on the return of AI students.
There's less work to do, and the teaching is much more easier.
When we was just doing virtual, we just had a packet to do, and it had to be done.
I wasn't that used to it, and I didn't know how it worked.
Here you get a lot of work, like you still get a lot of work doing virtual, but you get more work here.
Make sure everybody's 6 feet apart, and make sure everybody wearing their masks. Everybody's safe and separate.
Last December, students across the district competed in the Martin Luther King Jr. writing contest. The high school prompt was to explain his quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere."
Numerous winners were selected, including Aiken High students Kimberly Morris and Katie Stroman.
Here they are, elaborating on the meaning and motivation behind writing their contest-winning essays.
The past several years have truly been a time of personal growth for me, a young black girl in America. The quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," is timely for me to disclose my thoughts about what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. meant and what this quote means to me. Injustice has been around for centuries and has affected many people, to include Dr. King during the height of the Civil Rights Movement in 1963, where he was arrested for protesting without a permit and put in jail. Though his physical body was in jail, his mind was not suppressed. So what inspired me to write my essay is just thinking about all the things that we've gone through in 2020 and how a lot of issues from in the past about injustice have come to light in today's world. So I just wanted to bring, awareness. There's still work that needs to be done to fight injustices in America.
The stalwart leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., devoted his life in order to make a better future. In April 1963, he was arrested and jailed for protesting in Birmingham after he was ordered to not hold protests. Instead of running from the issue, he moved to where the issue was. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s unwavering leadership can never be duplicated, but should be the example for others.
When I first saw the topic, I was like, oh yeah, I have to answer this, because throughout last year with all the shootings and all of the killings of Black African American people, like this issue was appearing everywhere, and I was just like, this is a recent topic that people have like kind of forgot about this quote, but we can bring it up and we can use it to fix the issues that what's going on now.
I think what made him a great role model is like he was always fearless in everything he did. He didn't care about getting arrested as long as he was peacefully protesting. He was always going to do what was right. If that meant him going to jail, if that meant him getting killed, then he was going to do it because he wanted to fight for a bigger cause.
Because he believed in peaceful protests, I think it was a great example of a role model and how we can use our words to impact others and how we handle situations, how we handle difficult situations. We can take a moment to think about what really needs to happen. We can think about how we can fix the issue before actually taking violent reaction to it. So we learn to sit back and think and go through the whole process of how this issue can be resolved.
I've learned while doing my research for this essay that injustice is very, very prevalent still today in America. If you don't research it, you won't know about it. So it's very important to be aware of the things that are going on around you in the world, because if you don't bring awareness to it, it'll keep happening.
I learned not to be afraid to go to new places, because he just moved his whole entire life to that area because of one situation.
And even though I'm sure he was probably scared, his family was scared, but some things have to happen. Some type of change has to occur to resolve the issue. So I had to take new chances this year. I was like, I need to go to these different protests. I need to see what's going on. I need to hear these mothers responding to how their children were killed. So I need to do that so I can help my community and spread the word for others. So to encourage anybody else to just do your research, find a quote that will inspire you to try new things, and just do the best you can do. Even through these challenging times, we can still have an impact, if that's through social media, if that's through just media in general. So you don't have to have that one-to-one contact with everybody, but we can still have an impact and we can still change the world. Don't let what's going on now keep you from doing what you need to do and doing what your heart feels you need to do.
Even though decades have passed, we are continuing to stand up against voter suppression, demand criminal justice reform, affordable health care, and ensure all students receive a quality education, just to name a few. Over the past few years, and especially the year of 2020, the reality of work that still needs to be done in America is apparent. Dr. King's quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," continues to resonate from Birmingham's jail in 1963 to 2020. Dr. King continues to challenge us all to fight for freedom and grant equality and justice for all Americans.
As long as injustice is allowed, we would never see justice. That threat will always reappear or linger in the back of our minds. In order to be free of justice insecurities and be unified as a community, we have to continue to fight any and all injustices. We cannot settle or let injustice slip between the cracks. We must run to these situations and stay motivated to solve these issues. We are in this together, no matter the race, gender, or age. We are together. Injustice to anyone, anything, and anywhere is a threat to our humanity, our unity, and our world.
Masks are worn at school on a daily basis. They've helped reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Here are some thoughts on masks in school.
In my opinion, I do not think it's hard wearing a mask. For me, it's not, because I can breathe perfectly fine.
I don't think it's hard to wear a mask. Well, not for me at all, but it may be hard for some other people, but not for me.
In the beginning, it was more difficult, but I think I've gotten so used to it that it's not, I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but I'm just used to it now. In fact, before you guys came in here, I was cleaning and I was getting some stuff out of the back walk-in and stuff, and I thought, why do I have my mask on? I'm in here by myself. So I just, it's just become so normal that it's okay.
I don't know about hard. I think it's more important to be safe than it is comfort.
Yes, it is hard to socialize when you're wearing a mask, because some people can't tell who you are, or it's hard to identify people.
I don't think it prevents COVID, but I think it's a step closer to helping us from spreading it to others.
Yeah, that is an issue. Students are a lot less likely to participate in a class discussion. And I'm not exactly sure why, but the students are a lot more to themselves, and they have to do with social distancing too, but it's different. It's different. I've gotten used to it, but doesn't mean it's great, but it is what it is. So
I don't think so, because your mask moves and you're kind of looking at eyes.
Not really. I don't think they prevent COVID because people are still getting it. And if the masks were doing something, it was still wouldn't be going on.
Socializing can be hard when wearing a mask because you might not, when they're speaking, you might not understand them, and you might have to ask them to repeat themselves, and that can get annoying.
yeah, I have there's certain students that I know are just not necessarily, they're not trying to comply, but they're social distanced, but they are eating a snack or whatever, and then they're allowed to eat in here when they prepare their food, but I want them to be at their space with nobody around them, but then they'll forget to pull it back up and then walk over to get something or get a spoon or whatever, And, and I frequently have to say, oh, pull your mask back up, as I see them walking across the room. So, yeah, it's a thing.
Not that I see, because they either have it on or, taking a break. They don't play with it in their hands.
Well, do I think so? I just follow what the science, the people that are in place to know that, better than me. But yeah, that's what they say, and so I firmly believe it. One thing I believe definitely is that wearing this has really benefited me. I haven't had any colds, no other kind of virus, no flu, nothing. There's not a sniffle this year, and that's unusual, and so I attribute it to not being exposed to anybody's whatever germs, whether it's COVID or whatever. So I'm okay with it.
No. Hopefully the vaccination will be the best thing to prevent COVID.
It was in the beginning. I think the more comfortable my students have gotten with each other, and the more comfortable they've gotten with me in our classroom norms and everything, they do socialize. I have to tell them there's little groups in certain classes, I have to tell them to quit talking, which is annoying, but then at the same time it's joyful because they're not letting this time that we're living in stop them from, having friends and, being social and doing what kids do. And that makes me happy.
And now for this week's announcements.
Congrats to a number of students who got accepted into the AC Gateway Summer Arts Program. Please remember to submit your paperwork to Ms. McGregor in room E110 by Monday, March 8th.
Have you ordered your yearbook? Time is running out. Order your yearbook by February 26th. See Ms. Pataro in room C258 to order.
This is the last week to order a digital dozen card for Krispy Kreme in order to support our production. Find a broadcast journalism student or find Ms. McGee in room C255 to order by this Thursday.
That's all for this week's AHS News production. Thanks for watching and go Hornets!